Hi everyone and welcome to Book Boop. My name is Rachel and today I'm going to be doing the festive Christmas song book tag. This book tag was originally created by Haley over Haley in Bookland. If you have not checked her out before, please do so. I will link her channel down below. She's one of the bigger booktubers here on YouTube, so if you haven't heard of her, be pretty surprised, but I honestly really love her videos, and she also puts out some really fun Christmas videos during December. She puts out tons of videos. She used to do, I think, 24 videos, but she's docked it down, I think, to 12, but she always puts out some fun videos, so go check those out. But without further ado, I have 10 different Christmas songs that have a question tagged to it related to books, of course. Why else are we here? So let's go ahead and jump in. The first song is You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. And that question is, name a villainous character you can't help but love. And every single time I think of a villainous character that I actually really enjoy and I don't just absolutely hate is the character Jackal from the Blood of Eden series by Julie Kagawa. This is a vampire post-apocalyptic series, and if you really like vampires and you're looking for a good vampire series, look no further. This is it, please. It is amazing. It is so good. So in this series, Jackal is kind of one of the villains we follow, but he's kind of like an anti-hero. There's times he does things that are good, and sometimes he does some really bad things, but I love him because of his just sarcastic, witty attitude. I love it so much. He's so snarky, and I enjoy that so much when people have like these snarky, snippy lines that are honestly funny, but they're mean at the same time. He is an amazing character, and every time I always think of he's my favorite villain, honestly. So again, please read the series if you haven't read it. It is so good. The next one is All I Want for Christmas Is You. What book do you most hope to see under your Christmas tree? And this one definitely for me is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I read The Night Circus this past year in 2019, and it was one of my books from this year, favorite books from this year, and I don't own it, and I would really love to own it. So it's like at the top of my wish list. So I'm not gonna lie, if I don't get it for Christmas, I probably will be ordering it for myself because I really want that book, because I'd love to reread it sometime and have a copy to be able to loan out to people as well, because it's such a great book. The next one is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and that one is name a character that overcomes major obstacles and learns to believe in themselves. And the one I could think of was Morgan from the book Nevermore. Now, this is the second book. I have the first book. My mother is currently loaning it. But this is the second book in the series, and we've got Morgan Crow here. And I absolutely adore her character because she starts out kind of honestly a lot like Harry Potter does, where she thinks she's a nobody. Nobody seems to really like her very much. In her particular world, she was born on like the most unlucky day of the year or the century or something, and because of that, supposedly people blame her for all the bad things that happen. So she's just sort of someone everybody hates, everyone blames for everything bad that happens, and she honestly just doesn't think she amounts to anything, and then she ends up learning that she's way more than she ever realized. And so I just really love her character, and that was the first character I could think of, at least in recent books that I've read, that overcomes that and learns that they are something more. The next one is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And all of a sudden I couldn't remember how that song sounded, so sorry about that. Which character do you think would be on the top of the naughty list? And again, trying to think through some books that I've read recently and trying not to go for sort of the common ones. Most people would probably pick Umbridge from Harry Potter because she is the worst. But my first character I thought of that would be at the top of the naughty list from what I read this past year is Queen Red by The Looking Glass Wars by Frank Fedor. Sorry, this is the second book of the series. I picked this one up because this character here in the front, this is Queen Red, and she is the Queen of Hearts, the evil Queen of Hearts. And she's just plain awful. She's so evil. She kind of reminds me of Jackal a little bit though too from Blood of Eden series, because she also is very like sarcastic, and she has like these very witty comments that almost kind of make you laugh, but she does some seriously villainous things in this series. So I think she would be at the top of the naughty list. And if you love Alice in Wonderland retellings, I highly recommend the Looking Glass Wars series by Frank Fedor. I think you would love that. A tag to that question is, who do you think would be on the top of the nice list? And this one, I immediately thought of the character Warful, who is the Goblin Archivist from the Assassination of Brangwen Spurge, because He is the sweetest little cinnamon roll. He wants so bad to be friends with this elf, and the elf people just hate the goblins, and he just wants to learn from them and wants to be friends, and he tries so hard, and he's so precious. So I think he would be at the top of the nice list. So, and again, this one, I've mentioned this book so many times recently, you're probably sick of me mentioning it, but this is such a fantastic middle grade with gorgeous illustrations. And it reminds me so much of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, that kind of humor. So check it out. All right, the next one is Frosty the Snowman. Which book just melts your heart? And that one, at least for me for this year, was Sweep by Jonathan Osier. This book is so heartwarming. I love it to death. It's all about friendship and love, and it's just the sweetest book, and I really wish more people would read this. It was one of my favorite books from this year too, so please give this one a shot. It is so good, but this one just warms my heart. It's the first one I can think of that really warmed my heart this year. All right, the next one is Feliz Navidad. Dun, 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 dun. Choose a book that takes place in a country other than your own. So this one, I had a little bit of trouble kind of thinking of one, because honestly, when I thought back, at least to the books that I've read, at least in 2019, almost all of them take place either in America, take place in Great Britain, like London, or they take place in a fictional world. So I didn't really have very many I could think of that took place in this place other than my own. Now, I'm from America, and I know London is in a different country. I get that, but it is, to me, is one of the most other common cities or nationalities that are present in books. So I was trying to think of even a different one. The only one I could think of was the book Guest by Mary Downing Hahn. This book, I believe, takes place in Ireland, and it's actually based on folk tales with changelings, like the little people, and it's just based on those folk tales. So to me, this is the first one I thought of that was kind of more cultural. Sorry if I can get the word out. It's more cultural, and it takes place in Ireland at least. So it's a little bit different than just like London or New York or something like that, which I feel like those are kind of the common cities and that are usually in books. So I'm going to choose that one for this one. And like I said, this is a great sort of like look into Irish folklore, and it's spooky, and it's very much just folklore-ish, and it's lovely. So this one's a lot of fun as well. All right, this next one, what do we got? It's the most wonderful time of the year. Which holiday theme book do you use to spread the Christmas joy? So to be perfectly honest, I don't normally read that many holiday themed books. I know a lot of people, especially I've noticed recently, have been reading like specifically holiday or Christmas themed books in December. And I honestly don't end up doing that very much. But I think on my favorite Christmas book ever, and probably will always be, is The Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, because it's amazing. I just love this story so much. I always watch so many different adaptations of this. I love watching Mickey's Christmas Carol, and then also the Muppet Christmas Carol. I really adore this story, and it just touches my heart, and it just really encompasses, I think, a lot of the feeling of the Christmas spirit. And so this is a good one. I need to reread it again. I really love A Christmas Carol, but I just see the movie so many times during December. It's like I'm rereading it 2 or 3 times anyways. But this is really the only Christmas one I could think of that really stuck out to me. Next one is Sleigh Ride. Dun, 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 dun. Which fictional character would you choose to spend the holidays with? So a lot of times when I hear this kind of question, the default answer almost always is like, oh, I want to hang out with the Weasleys, or I want to be at the Burrow with the Weasleys, which I would love that. That is kind of my gut instinct answer. But I was like, okay, let's be original. Let's see if I can think of a different family or person I would want to spend the holidays with. So I thought back again to the books that I read this past year, and I'm going to go back through and grab this one again. Sorry, I just bumped the camera. And I'm going to choose to stay with Morgan Crow at the Hotel I always say this wrong. Dukeline? I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. But basically, it's the hotel that she lives in when she is whisked away to this new place and in Nevermore. So this hotel that she stays in is filled with all sorts of kooky, interesting characters. There's parties all the time. There's I think it was called the smoking room, but like it's a room that has like different type of smoke in it, like scented smokes or something. They're supposed to make you feel calm or happy, or I don't know. It's just like this place. There's always so much happening. There's a lot of magic there. And I think it would be a very magical place to spend Christmas, to be perfectly honest. So I picked to be in Nevermore with Morgan Crow. I think that would be a really cool Christmas. Let's see. The next one is Baby It's Cold Outside. Which book that you didn't like would you sacrifice to a fire to warm yourself up in the cold? That's brutal. And that one for me, I do not own this one anymore. I used to, but for me, it is just any of the Charlotte Holmes books by Brittany Cavallaro. I read the first 2 this year and I really didn't like them a lot. I know some people really love them, so if you do, I'm nothing against you, but I personally, they were not for me. I found them confusing and I didn't enjoy the reads at all. I didn't like the characters and just didn't enjoy it. So I think I would sacrifice that one to fire to keep me warm. And I'm always really cold in the winter. I'm always freezing, so I probably sacrifice it pretty darn quickly. All right, this very last one is Do You Hear What I Hear? Which book do you think everyone should read? And the funny part is this is a book I do not have on me right now because my dad is borrowing it because I've been pushing it on him for a while because I've been wanting to read it so bad. So I'm just going to hold up the second book in the series, and that is the Renegade series by Marissa Meyer. It is a superhero series of the ongoing battle between good versus evil. And I adore it so much. I'm currently reading Supernova, which is the last book in the series, and I am adoring it. I kind of don't want it to end, though, because I don't want to see the series end, but I also want to know how it ends. But it's so good. This is the one I would want everybody to give a shot, because it's just a blast. It's just pure fun. And Marissa Meyer is seriously one of my auto-buy authors. I have loved everything she's put out. And her next book, I think, is supposed to be a contemporary romance, which I never read contemporary romance, but because it's Marissa Meyer, I'm gonna read it because I love Marissa Meyer so much. She does amazing retellers. She did the Lunar Chronicles and Heartless, which is a retelling of sort of the origin story of the Queen of Hearts. Just so good. So good. Anyways, that is the Christmas song book tag. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a little awkward randomly singing those titles. I thought it'd be more fun than just saying them. I just wish I could remember how Santa Claus is coming. Oh, Santa Claus is coming to town. Now I remember it. There we go. I hope you all have a very, very Merry Christmas. If you don't celebrate any holidays or anything this time of year, I just hope that it's a very relaxing time of year for you where you get to hopefully chill and get to spend some time with family and friends. But either way, thank you so much for watching. On this side of the screen over here is my logo. If you click on that, you can subscribe to my channel, follow me on my book journey in 2020. On this side of the video over here is my sorry, I already said logo, is a video that you can watch if you want to watch another video right now. But thank you so much for watching. You rock, and don't forget to keep reading. Bye.